Let's go Knicks. The streets are buzzing. Welcome in everyone. The post game with CT as the Knicks pull out a close finish and a big win in the 6, 113-108 off big time buckets from Jaylen Brunson, the captain, 4-point play. Karl-Anthony Towns with the Dagger 3 to end it. It was close. It was a little too close. We're going to talk about this ball game tonight, fam, with the best chat in the biz. Let's break it down, guys. This one was end to end. There was some sloppiness. There was some frustrations, but the Knicks pulled it out and chalk up their 15th win of the season. Now 15-9 as we look ahead, man, on Wednesday night, NBA Cup action coming up. And the chance to get to Vegas against Atlanta as we get back to MSG after this one. Salute Knicks Nation. Salute to the chat. Salute Replay Squad. Man, the Knicks needed fortitude to get this one over the line, and it was late stops. OG Anunoby was just phenomenal in this ball game. Josh Hart as well. The Knicks really gritted this one out, you know, and some games aren't pretty. This one certainly wasn't, and I think the Knicks needed to grit it out late. Yes, these big buckets sealed it, but I think it was the stops. You know, RJ Barrett, man, caught fire and was driving to the lane, and the Raptors were hanging around in this one, but the New York Knicks is a team effort. Mikal Bridges stepped up as well, hit some huge shots late in the ball game, and you know the Knicks offense was just too much for the Raptors as they tried to double, and it left a couple of the shooters open, and they got the buckets, fam, that we needed to seal this one. Buzzer beater, Shez V, got the chat buzzing right now. Let's give out these game balls and the grades tonight. I think the Knicks played 2 decent quarters, the first quarter and the fourth quarter, but the second and the third quarters tonight were extremely poor, sloppy, especially that second quarter where the Knicks gave up a 19-7 run to the Raptors after taking an 11-point lead. Right, I thought this one was supposed to be more comfortable than it was, but obviously the Raptors had other plans, right? They had extra juice in the building, you know, and winning these games on the road, you know, is tougher, of course. The home team doesn't want to get embarrassed, but the Knicks came to play in the fourth quarter and got it done, and that's the most important thing, fam. We got away with this one, 15-9. Like I said, clutch plays from the leaders stepping up with Karl-Anthony Towns, the Dagger 3, 24 points on a big night from Cat, 8 of 10 from the free throw, 7 of 13 from the field as well, with 15 rebounds. Karl-Anthony Towns is back in the lineup, and it's great to have him, man. You know, that Dagger was huge, right, and made them pay. We felt it, right, and obviously a +10 is big time. Jaylen Brunson had to exit the game briefly in the third with an ankle. He was jogging back and looked to be a trip on a spectator in the first row. But Jaylen came back and he helped close this one out. 41 minutes for Bridges, 34 for Brunson, 35 from Cat, 41 minutes from OG Anunoby. We're going to talk about his heroics with 5 stocks once again tonight. We've got we in the building, Mike, Jimmy, and Scorch. Let's get it. Updates on Shamet. You know, no updates on Shamet at the moment, but I do think that it'll probably be a January kind of thing, and we'll wait to see what happens on that front. Jimmy says, nice dub. And Mike says, salute CT, tuned in with my daughter, Halo, letting her stay up past her bedtime for some of the podcast action. Great to have you guys with us, Halo, Mike. And salute to you. Go Knicks. Let's go Knicks. You know, like I said, they gritted this one out, yeah. And Cat was perking up the New York on his chest as well, letting them know what it's all about. I think the Knicks, displayed defense late to grit this one out. And some big shots, Dave, like you said in the chat as well. Big time efforts. Look, it was pleasing to see Mikal Bridges really step up. And this was one of his really, key important shots when, the game was way too close. It was going back and forth, but firepower got it in the end to get ahead, and the Knicks sealed it out with a stop as well. It was very predictable. I mean, RJ Barrett, we know his go-to moves, which is drive to the cup, get left, and OG Anunoby had that one sealed off, man. The New York Knicks defensive stopper got it done, man, with one of his 5 stocks tonight. Can we get a thumbs up for OG Anunoby, fam? As we're going to give out the first grade of the evening. Who should get the game ball? Let me know, right? I'm really undecided, and I want you guys to decide by majority vote. Guys, I'll pull up the box score again. Help me out on this one. Is it Cat with his late dagger and his shot making on efficiency with 15 rebounds, 6 assists? The passing game was elite from Cat tonight. Salute Troy. It was absolutely a grind tonight, but we got out with a dub, which is the main thing, fam. We stack up these dubs. When we look back, we're not going to even think about how we got the dub. We just got it. And obviously, Cat just got back in the lineup. And I don't think Brunson is himself right now. I think Brunson, was questionable last game. Is still dealing with a back complaint. Wasn't moving as freely, but was willing distributing. Was JB tonight with 11 dimes. Does he get the game ball? 20 points. Went to the locker room, gritted it back out, came back out, and gave us 11 dimes, man, on 20 points with the winning 4-point play. Daryl says Bridges should get the game ball. Let's talk about Mikal. 9 of 14, 5 of 8 as well. 23 points on a +9 too, fam. 62% from 3. That's a nice case you're making. And obviously Josh Hart really gritted this one. 4 assists, 10 points, and got us 4 rebounds as well. I really like Cat's game. 15 rebounds, 6 assists, 24 points with the game sealing 3. But you can make a case for most of the starters, fam. Probably outside of Hart, but OG 6 of 14, returning back to his old team in the 6 assists, 3 assists, and 5 stocks for the defensive stopper from the New York Knicks. 14 points for OG as well. Pull up OG's highlight here, man. One of his many stocks getting into the passing lane and going coast to coast, fam. I really think, I could give out multiple game balls, but because it was such a close win, I'm going to decide on one game ball, but we'll keep it open for now. As the chat's buzzing, Michael Drake, I see you. Cat Bodega was on his business tonight. Certainly was, man, and great to have him back because we struggled last game without the Cat, and obviously his rebounding is huge, man. We're going to talk about Precious, of course. We're going to give out these grades for everyone. I need everyone to smash that like button. The Knicks got their 15th win on the season. We've got the NBA Cup coming up on Wednesday night. Lots to look forward to, fam, as the Knicks seal this one with clutch plays late as well. I guess it's good practice to be in these close games at times. We can't blow out teams every single night, and when it comes up against playing these better teams, it's going to be closer games, It seems like most of our wins recently have been blowouts, so the Knicks got it done with grittiness. Cameron Payne, a mixed bag from him tonight. It was a lot of ups and downs. 3 of 6 is decent, but a couple of ill-advised 3-point shots as well. 1 of 4 from Cam Payne. This one was momentum swinging, end-to-end stuff, but defensively we gritted it out and we got the blocks, fam. Cat with 2 blocks, OG with 3, Precious Achua with 2 blocks as well, fam. As well, I see you, Precious, too. Georgie says JB should get the game ball for distributing the ball aggressively and getting the dimes for the win. I like that. I like that comment, man. And I'm leaning towards Brunson, but I really like Cat's game as well, right? So I'm leaning towards Brunson and Cat. But I really like Mikal Bridges' game on the offensive side as well. I don't think Bridges was great defensively. He was better. But, he was getting blown by still a couple of times from Grady Dick, as well. So I think we got ways to improve. But I love to see that 3-point ball fall from Mikal tonight. That was great. Big Dave says, I say Cat gets the game ball. So we're all torn at the moment, man. Maybe we just give out multiple game balls, seeing that we needed efforts from multiple individuals to actually get this one over the line. So let's start with the captain tonight. He finished the game, so I don't think there's anything to worry about with the ankle. I think he probably did have to go back to the locker room and get it retaped. So what happened, guys, is he basically was backtracking after an offensive possession, close to the sideline, and he tripped over a spectator in the front row, and he appeared to go down in pain, rolled his ankle, and then he had to go back to the locker room and get that looked at. And then he came back. Probably, I'm going to say he missed at least 5 to 6 minutes of game time, what seemed like 6 to 7 minutes, maybe even in that third quarter. Then he came back out and got back in, and that's when the New York Knicks looked a lot more steady. Obviously, Deuce and Payne tried their best, but there's nobody like the captain to get everybody sorted. And so, yeah, JB got back in the game, finished 4 of 8 from 3 as well. The 3-point ball's been money recently from JB. So I see you. He's been putting in extra reps in the gym. 11 dimes, 20 points, 3 turnovers with 1 foul only, -2 from the captain. But 2 of 5 from the charity stripe. So JB's got some improvements to make. 2 of 5 from the free throw. He can get better at that. But he showed a lot of fortitude, man, and it's not easy. I mean, we're not in his mind, in his head, his body. I'm sure he was feeling the pain and the effects, right, to help will this team over the line. So, look, 11 dimes, game-winning plays. So, I'm going to chalk up an A+ for the cap, Jaylen Brunson, and he's also going to get 1 game ball tonight, fam, with the ceiling 4-point play, man. Larry Johnson says, "What's up?" As I bring this up again. This was really the game winner for me, the 4-point play. I know Cat hit that dagger, but I mean, we were down 3 before JB hit that 4-point play. That gave us the lead. So huge, big time, fam. Old Head says, Knicks share the ball. Look at the shot distribution tonight. Yeah, let's look at that, fam. Team assists was basically the Knicks finished with 32 assists tonight. Excellent. And yeah, we were less predictable, especially JB's dime to find Cat under the bucket as well. I think that was to that was to put us up 2 before the RJ Barrett bucket tied it. And so, yeah, Brunson had his imprint all over this ball game too, despite the struggles. Like AP says, we had struggles, best believe that. And yeah, I think we played 2 solid quarters out of 4, but it was enough to get the win as talent trumps the Toronto Raptors, right? No Scotty Barnes, short-handed, because Scotty Barnes had to leave the game as well in the third quarter due to falling on his ankle as well. So might this game been very different with Scotty Barnes in there? But I mean, credit to the Raptors defense. I mean, Davion Mitchell, Jacoby Walter, they've got some outstanding, young talent that can defend. And of course, they were gritting it out with Jakob Poeltl and Kelly Olynyk and RJ Barrett in this one, right? This was a real battle, a test. And look, I think half of our mind is probably on other games coming up. It's not easy to fly to Toronto for 1 game after a tricky game, a loss at MSG to the Pistons, and then knowing that you've got that huge national TV game coming up against the ATL for the NBA Cup semifinals, fam. So Jaylen Brunson, man, you really stepped up like a leader tonight, man. You deserve a game ball and an A+. For me, Michael Drake also agrees too. Monkey Wrench Built says Knicks interior D almost gave up the game. OG's perimeter D helped big time. There was you're on the money. It was a lot of lapses tonight defensively, but where I saw the Knicks step up late was the interior defense as well, with a couple of those blocks, right? Where we'd been going wrong was no doubt our perimeter defense has been lacking. But every time there's been a lapse or a blow by, there has been nobody in the paint to protect the rim. That's the last line of defense. The difference tonight was once they got some dribble penetration, we actually had some rim protection. I mean, Precious 2 blocks, Cat with 2 blocks, and OG with 3 as well. So that's holding down Fort Knox for us, fam, with the bigs tonight. And I'm glad we've got Precious back because, he's given us some big interior defense as well. Demario, salute to you. Let's cook these Hawks on Wednesday for the Cup. I feel it, man. We're getting hyped for that game. We were the only game on the NBA schedule tonight. So we're going to look at the standings. We're going to climb the standings a bit. But let's talk about the next Nick, right? Because Cat was big time in this one, man. Safe hands down low. Brunson found him for that dime to put the Knicks up 2. And that was huge. But obviously the big dagger from Karl Anthony Towns tonight was much needed. And I'm going to pull up more of these highlights from Cat as the New York Knicks get the big dub. And we see Cat point to his chest saying, that's New York right there. That's New York right there. Big time effort from Cat. I mean, his rebounding and his play on both sides of the floor are huge. And obviously, it's a case of we only missed Cat for that one game, but we got to see, all the things that maybe some people aren't appreciating so far from the big bodega. And I think, tonight he really showed some fortitude, especially on the interior defense side. But then this, my God, I mean, that's what we signed up for. Late in games, trying to get a stop on us, and it's hard to guard that, man. Stretch 5, baby, all day. Top of the key, lane space wide open. I mean, RJ had a choice to make. He sagged off, and, it was too much to close out on that one, man. Catch, shoot, money from Big Cat. As the Knicks really felt this one tonight, man. I felt it because it would have been a really horrible situation to drop 2 in a row against inferior teams. So yeah, with that said, man, Cat's numbers 7 of 13, 2 of 5, including the big time bucket, 8 of 10. Getting to the foul line is a much underrated thing as well. Big time, 80%. Nothing like having a big that can actually hit free throws. But like I said, the 15 bounds, the 6 assists, the 2 steals, the 2 blocks, 24 points, and a team high plus 10. Man, Karl Anthony Towns is about to get a game ball for that performance tonight. So salute to you guys, salute to the chat. Welcome in. Smash that like button. The 2 leaders of the club, Cat, Brunson, 2 game balls. Let's get it. Let's look ahead to the Atlanta Hawks in this one as we salute our New York Knicks for getting over the line with big time plays, big time, and the blocks I loved. So we're going to talk about OG and the defensive stops that got this one, but we've got ways to go, man. And, I think Deuce McBride is a big key to solving our perimeter defense. I think his ability to fight over screens is something I'm going to talk about a lot more later tonight, because yeah, we gotta address that. We're getting a lot of blow bys, and I know it's going to improve when Mitchell Robinson gets back. That's another rim protector that we have, but we've got to try to slow down these perimeter drives, and get over these screens. Whether we switch quicker, whether we drop under the screen at times, we'll see. But we have to fix that, But yeah, we were tested tonight, and we answered the call. Coach says best big in the East. Absolutely. I think first team all NBA, and he's going to make an all-star game, no doubt about it. Monkey Wrench also says running that double big lineup in Jan will change how this Knicks team is played against. When Mitch comes back, we lit. I think there's going to be a lot of switching of lineups so we can have offense, defense late in ball games. I think another weapon up our sleeve, which is going to be big time. So let's move on to the next New York Knick, and that is, let's talk about the bridge man. Mikal Bridges had arguably his best offensive game as a New York Knick. Bridges was 9 of 14, played 41 minutes. So he's got the trust. He's got the trust of the coach, man. And he's got a quick trigger tonight, and it was flowing. It was flowing like money. 5 of 8 as well. So look, for all the ups and downs Bridges has had, one thing I got to give him his flowers for. He's not afraid out there. He doesn't look afraid, and he doesn't look affected by his inefficiency and his poor defense at times. I think offensively, a mid range has been money, and he lets it fly. He doesn't hesitate. So 23 points, much needed clutch buckets tonight from Mikal, +9 in the box scorer as well. You'll love to see that. He got a steal, and he gave us 3 assists as well. So, yeah, I think our interior defense will get better when Mitch gets back. But, yeah, our perimeter defense is lacking, Sandman. It does need a lot of work, and I think that is the biggest work in progress for this ball club. But I always said the biggest frustration with Bridges is when the defense wasn't going, it was affecting the offense. But at least we got the offensive side of the floor with Mikal tonight that we really needed. And he hit some big time buckets. So he's going to get an A for me for his offensive output. And Mikal Bridges deserves his flowers for tonight, right? Helping us on the offensive side, drilling those threes. And also, putting the ball on the floor a bit, making some plays happen as well. Bridges with the 3 assists and team high 32 assists tonight. So that was great for the team. 32 dimes, really solid ball movement from this team. Gallo says big cat. Bob says good win. Let's go. Smash that like button, guys. Love the energy tonight. And I think, this offense, when it's flowing, it's pretty, man. The 3-point shooting has been elite. Let's shout out our team for our 3-point shooting this season. I mean, we're the number 1 offense in the league. It's the defense we've got to get right. And I think we're going to get, some more chemistry going on that side with Precious returning and giving us some valuable minutes. And obviously Mitch still to come back as well. And potentially a Landry Shamet, who's shown that he can be a solid perimeter defender as well in preseason. So we've got some soldiers we're going to welcome back, but these guys on screen tonight, there's improvement in them, and obviously it starts on the perimeter, but guarding the rim is important as well. I like the 7 blocks tonight, right? If we are getting those blow bys, then recover and help out, rotate and get those blocks, fam. So next up is OG Anunoby. Right, speaking of blocks, defense, he's been our best defender this season as OG Anunoby. The versatility is off the chain, and 14 points tonight with 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals and 3 blocks, including a big one on RJ as well. He didn't fall for the dupe, stayed on his feet, and just kept his hand up. And RJ Barrett tried the pump fake, the head fake, and OG, like a veteran defender, didn't leave his feet as well. So that was a big time play late when we needed that stop. And when you need a stop, OG is always there to count on, man. And this team is relying on him heavily. OG in 41 minutes tonight, played a little bit too much for my liking, but the game was close. So I could see Tom Thibodeau pulling some of those last strands of hair he's got out. But 6 of 14, 2 of 9 from distance, 4 rebounds, and I love the 3 assists and the 5 stocks from OG Anunoby with the 14 points tonight. Wasn't efficient from 3, but 6 of 14 is okay. And his activity on the defensive side was really impactful, as it always is. So with that said, I'm going to dial up the grade for OG Anunoby. Huge defensively once again in his return to the 6. So I'm going to give OG an A, man. Without him, we'll probably lose the ball game still, because defensively, he's just a monster. Hidalgo says Mikal gets the game ball for me. He was a sniper tonight. A salute to you, man. Yeah, we had a hard time deciding, and I was thinking of giving out Mikal Bridges a game ball as well. Definitely, I think the late plays from Cat and Brunson just edged it in their favor, but definitely Mikal Bridges was money tonight. Lily Phillips says, had to grind this win out, but I'll take the dub. Best believe that, yeah. Sometimes they ain't going to be pretty, and sometimes I like a gritty win, because defensively, it shows that we have a stop in us. We can get stops when we buckle down and we need it. It was a little predictable from the Raptors. I knew they were going to go to RJ Barrett on that one. Yeah, OG, OG was up to the task, and he wasn't gonna fall for that head fake on that one. But yeah, I think we moved the ball, 32 assists tonight, and we're really going to stretch that defense out and cause a lot of headaches for the rest of the league. So yeah, the best offense in the league prevailed tonight, fam. Including Brunson. Great to see his 3-point ball back as well. It's well and truly money for JB right now, and it's opening up the floor. So let's talk about the last starter tonight, Josh Hart. How did you see Hart's game? What stands out to me with Hart was obviously he's always cutting and he's always a rim threat because he likes to drive, and he had a couple of nice finishes as well and a couple of finishes that he missed, which is unlike him. But still solid game overall. 4 of 9 from the Lionheart, 3 assists and a steal, 10 points for Josh Hart tonight. What I like, 31 minutes. He didn't have to play too much, so I think we're seeing Hart's minutes go down a little bit with the return of Precious Achua now. So that's been key. 31 minutes from Hart, so that's good. He didn't have to play too much. He won't be too gassed after this one because we're going to need Hart for that big NBA Cup quarterfinal matchup against the Hawks on Wednesday. So yeah, with that said, I'm going to give the grade for Hart. He gets a B+ for me tonight. So yeah, the New York Knicks starting 5 can be proud, to close the game out. But that second quarter, I put that more on Tibbs because you got to call a timeout, Tibbs, to stem the run. The New York Knicks gave up a 13-0 run to the Raptors, and that just shouldn't happen. Once it gets to 6 or 7, 8, you call a timeout. You're the road team, and the crowd's going crazy. The hometown team gets the momentum. Tibbs, you got to call a timeout there. So yeah, the Knicks let go of that rope in the second quarter. You take that away, and the Knicks probably get a blowout win because the Knicks were up 11. So for Tibbs' grade tonight, man, I didn't like his in-game management from that side of things. Playing OG Anunoby 31 minutes when you've got Daddy A on the bench, 41 minutes for OG when you've got Daddy A out there. You got Precious back. You got Deuce who could play more. I don't like that from Tibbs. You don't need to be playing OG 41, Bridges 41 as well. These guys are going to be tired, man. And, it's a real thing. Fatigue management is key in a long season. We've got a big game coming up, and the games come thick and fast. So I'm not liking the minutes management at the moment from Tibbs. That has to get better. You've got players available now. You got Dadier, you got Deuce McBride only played 26. Hart only played 31 as well. But I know how much he knew that meant to OG. So for Tibbs' grade, let us know what you think, guys. Yeah, Swiss Army knife for Lionheart. Michael Drake, salute. Yeah, the refs, Monkey. I think the refs they weren't too bad. They weren't too bad. Tony Brothers, I think he was he was letting things go early, and then he started to call things ticky-tack. And the Knicks did benefit on a couple of ones, but he was definitely on it with that 4-point play with JB. So for the grade for Tibbs tonight, man, I'm gonna go a C for Thomas Thibodeau tonight. Correct things in that second quarter, and I think all good, comfortable win but that second quarter run really hurt the New York Knicks, giving up an 11-point lead and a 13-0 run as well. And yeah, it ended up being a 19-7 run in that second quarter, and that's where the Raptors got confidence. See, these NBA teams, they can play, man. You give them confidence, they're heads up on the road as well. You want to avoid that, right? So in-game management with this squad is key, fam. We can't just expect to roll into any building and be a cakewalk. We are going to face adversity. And it's going to come down to the coach pulling the right strings with this one. But his stars bailed him out tonight. Best believe that. Our stars bailed us out in this one. B Fitz agrees. Tibbs a C. He needs to get fired up. One of those on one of those non-foul calls. Yeah, you reminded me. I did like the challenge, and the Knicks did win a successful challenge for the first time in a minute. Tibbs has been holding on to his challenges, so I'm glad he used that to the Knicks' benefit, fam. It was on a new out-of-bounds play call where the Knicks actually got the benefit of a foul being called on an out-of-bounds review. The NBA previously weren't allowing that, but they made the rule change in the summer, and basically, now they could take a look at it. And the Knicks got the free throws, but the Knicks missed the free throws as well. So that's something on. Before I hit on the bench now, 12 of 19 from the free throw line. So that could have cost us. If we go 15 of 19, yeah, we have this game wrapped up a bit earlier. So Brunson missed a couple in a row. Like I said, I think his back is hurting him a little bit still. And Karl-Anthony Towns missed a couple of free throws back to back as well. So thank God that didn't come back to hurt us much on this one. So let's talk about our bench now, guys, because Tibbs continues to run an 8-man rotation, and that's one of the reasons I'm harder on Tibbs right now, because you've got some guys. Huck Porty can give you minutes. We've seen that. Dadier get these live bodies into the game for 5 to 6 minutes, I think, to keep other guys fresh. Because our starters are so important, man. We've got to keep them healthy. But let's hit on the first guy off the bench, man. Precious Achiuwa, 3 of 7. Was really active in this one. I like this game from Precious. Also, the forgotten man returning back to his former team. 6 rebounds, including 2 offensive, and gave us 2 blocks, 2 huge blocks from Achiuwa with 7 points on a +5. With 6 rebounds. So good tidy minutes from 16 minutes of Precious Achiuwa. Stepped up, and I like his aggression. I don't know if you guys saw, there was one play where one of those blocks, he was frustrated at one of the teammates, right? I couldn't see who, but there was a blow by. Basically, it was too easy, and then Precious had to help out and get the block as well. So Precious was really fired up with that one, and yeah, he was getting into it. Trying to, big up his teammates, to do better, right? And so I love the energy that Precious Achiuwa does bring on that side of the floor, and I think that's something that we've been missing. I think without Randall, without DiVincenzo, a lot of people have been talking about Precious providing some of that, edge and physicality that this team can lack sometimes, especially in the interior. And he brings that level of intimidation that Sims just doesn't provide, and Cat just doesn't provide defensively at times. Yes, he's given up a little bit of size, but I think he's got the heart, to make up for it. He's got heart in spades. From Precious Achiuwa. B Fit says in the chat, Precious and Cat duo was our best minutes. Yep, I like that. And I think, Precious is a really important piece of this roster right now. He's dependable. I think whatever happens with Mitch, to me, is going to be gravy, because you just don't know what you're going to get, and you don't know how much you can depend on him being healthy for the playoffs. But with Precious Achiuwa, he's a guy that can offer a similar level of defensive protection, but give us a bit more offense as well. So Precious Achua giving us a little bit of offense tonight with 7 points and safe hands down low. He can put the ball on the floor. He can finish around the rim. You don't have to worry about that. No butterfingers when it comes to Precious in this one. And he gets the B+ for me. And yeah, Tibbs is ramping up his minutes. I think the first couple of games were easing him in. And I think we're probably going to see Precious play 20 minutes soon. If you are going to stick with an 8-man rotation, you got to find a way to get Precious at least 20 minutes so that OG and Hart, can rest a bit. Because, their rest has to come from somewhere. Old boys in the building. Not impressed with some of our wins outside of the Denver one. I saw your comment about the Knicks beating on teams with shorthanded, missing some of their stars as well. And I think there's certainly a point to that. I think the Knicks, are grinding out wins, and some of them are a bit less unimpressive. I think all you can do is just beat who's in front of you. But I think we're warming up. As a team, we're still in the first sort of quarter of the season. Just getting into the second quarter of the season, there's clear improvements that we have to make, to hang with the big boys. But I think once we get everybody right, in the lineups that's healthy, and we, improve on that end. Tom Thibodeau's a defensive specialist, so I think, he's got to be figuring out ways to get this team up for it defensively. Offense, we know, first in the NBA. It's been really pretty at times, and we know we're a huge force offensively, but defensively we need to be better and be more consistent on that end, man. I hear you guys on that, but that's why I think Precious Achua is really key to this. No disrespect to Sims, Huck Porty's good at times, but he's still a rookie. Figuring out how to stay out of foul trouble and things like that, and Cat has to do so much on the offensive side. So I think Precious Achua is going to really make a name for himself in the run home of this season, man. I think he's going to earn himself a nice bag because, don't forget, Precious is on a expiring $6 million contract. And, we saw Isaiah prove his worth and get paid a huge bag. I think Precious Achua is going to be sitting here in this situation thinking, if I can play a key role with this club moving forward in the postseason, I can earn myself a nice contract. Here as well. Look, there's a clear need for this. And obviously the elephant in the room is that Jericho Sims is out of the rotation now. Like David M says, it looks like things could be over for Sims right now. But we'll wait to see. Injuries can change things, but as everyone's healthy, as predicted, I think you take Sims out of this rotation, man. It's a no-brainer. Now let's talk about Deuce, fam. 3 of 6 and 2 of 4 from distance. Continues to be money from deep. Does Deuce McBride, and we need that. 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 8 points, and a +8 as well. That's why I'm talking about solving our perimeter defense. I think Deuce McBride is a player to watch moving forward for that. He fights over screens. He anticipates the passing lanes as well. I like it when him and OG are on the floor together, and Hart. I think Hart, OG, and Deuce, and we get the energy up, we get deflections, we get those steals. And he's just a man for the moment. Is Deuce McBride, man? He's a guy that I want in the closing lineup. And I know Tom Thibodeau's going to have a headache on his hands by the time we get to the postseason. But I got to find a way to squeeze McBride in there because, he makes life difficult in the pick and roll. So I'm going to chalk up Deuce McBride's grade, man. I thought he was pretty good, and he's going to get an A- for me. There's Deuce on his 2 of 4 from distance, +8 in the box score. So let's get it. Yorkel's in the building. Says Achua over Mikal defensively. Mikal Bridges has got ways to go, and he's been underwhelming. I think what's been said on Mikal's already been said. But tonight, he showed up, and I appreciate what he gave us tonight offensively. I think as a team, I think we can't just rely on one guy or 2 guys. I think we can defend better as a team, And I think Brunson's a culprit at times. Cat doesn't rotate fast enough. I think to be an elite defense, it requires 5 guys, to buy in. Next up, Deuce McBride got the A-. Cameron Payne, bit of a mixed bag tonight from Cam, 3 of 6. Again, I like his energy. He brings pace. He brings us ball handling. But a couple of those shots were ill-advised, man. He's really got a quick trigger. Does Cameron Payne. 7 points tonight, +4, 12 minutes. So, yeah, it didn't kill us, 12 minutes. But, yeah, I didn't really like Payne's game a whole lot tonight. It was okay, but it wasn't anything special, right, for Cameron Payne. I'm gonna go a C+ for Cameron Payne tonight. Always like the pace he brings and the energy defensively, but yeah, ill-advised foul on one of that 3-point shooter, and then the ill-advised threes that he took as well, I think do need to be reined in a little bit as well. He's a very good distributor, he's Cameron Payne, and he's been really moving the rock. So I don't think he needs to settle for those threes, especially when he's really, really deep. Once the ball gets swung around and he's wide open, yeah, let it fly, Cam. But he does have a quick trigger when I think he does need to just sort of chill a bit on that one. Yeah, I hope he expands the rotation as well, fam. As well. What's up, Nice in the building? Salute, brother. Towns clearly made a statement to the league, says Nice. Towns ready for the smoke. We them boys, he said in the walk-off interview. He is, man, and yeah, I love the offense late. When Brunson's dishing, Cat swishing, it's special. It's special, man. I mean, everything that we hoped our offense could be, it's lived up to it. In our 24 games now, 24 games, fam. We've just passed the quarter waypoint in the season. We're number 1 in the league. I mean, that's what we hoped it to be. And, we've got a pretty average Mikal Bridges, and we're playing a guy like a Josh Hart, who's not known as a floor spacer and had, questions, over his presence in the starting 5 in preseason. And here we are, the number 1 offense in the league. And in my opinion, I don't really like Tibbs' offense. I don't think we have a great offensive-minded coach, but we're still getting the job done on that side. We got Achua back, healthy, fam. Tonight was the first night of the season that everyone not named Mitchell Robinson was fully available and healthy as well. So there's just one guy that remains. Is he the final piece of the puzzle? Guys, let me know what's up. Jazzman, buzzer beater, salute, great comeback in the 4th quarter. We them boys, Johnny, no doubt about it. So yeah, we're getting more healthy. I think that's a big thumbs up, guys. We're going to need everyone ready for what's going to be an absolute dogfight late in this season. We've got the trade deadline, and then we've got Mitch getting back, who's making strides. Tibbs says that he's making great progress every single day. Mitchell Robinson, with Karl-Anthony Towns playing at an all-NBA first-team level. Could he be the Rudy Gobert next to Cat? And we've have a beast like Precious to bring off the bench as well. Precious can be our Nas Reed. Mitchell Robinson can be the Rudy Gobert to Cat that we saw in Minnesota. Look out. Look out for the rest of the league. And yeah, Fabian, I like Landry Shamet. I mentioned him before. I think he can defend better than his reputation as well. He gets after it. So yeah, we've got a lot to look forward to, guys. With that, an update on Pacome Dadier, right? We don't leave out our rooks. Pacome Dadier's been balling in the G League. He's been averaging 15 points. He's been solid, getting really good minutes in the G League as well. And for a 19-year-old, the Knicks found one, man. I'm really confident Pacome Dadier is going to be an NBA starter based on his length, his shooting ability, his ability to put the ball on the floor as well. So, we're in a blessed situation where we don't have to rely on Pacome Dadier right now. We're not a rebuilding team like the Raptors are. They had to play their rooks, Jacoby Walter and a lot of their other guys a lot. We can let our rooks cook in the G League for a minute and bring them up when they're ready. So that's key as well, guys. Vaughan says CT definitely nervous for the squad down the stretch. These 8-man rotations are wild. Yeah, I think it will go to 9. I've got a suspicion, fam. It will go to 9. I think Mitch is obviously, the key name. But I think if I think Landry Shamet was actually on the roster right now today and was healthy, I think he would be the 9th guy. So I think it's frustrating, but Tibbs is willing to go 9 for a guy that he likes or he trusts. And I think right now, Kolek's kind of redundant because we've got the ball handling. Dadier's like, Tibbs likes him, but he's young. And I think Huck Porty's in that spot where it's Tibbs is like, he'll play in case of emergency. So if you bring in a healthy Shamet or a Mitch, I think Tibbs goes to a 9. I think the Mitch thing, Yorkel, they're trying to be cautious with him, man. 7-footers that those ankle injuries are no joke. We'll see what happens. Buzzer Beater says, I heard Leon Rose wants to sign Shamet and Ryan. I think Shamet will definitely come back, fam. I think it's no secret. I think Landry Shamet will come back. But here's a name for you guys. Another guy cooking in the G League for the Westchester Knicks. He was on the training camp and preseason squad. His name is TJ Warren. Fam, he's been absolutely cooking. 32 points the other night. Talk about a guy that I would love to have just on the end of the bench there ready in case of an injury or an emergency. TJ Warren is a guy I think we should look to bring in. He's a bucket. And obviously I think it's strategic. The Knicks gave him that bread in preseason to make sure that he could stay in Westchester for the playoff run, potentially, once we are able to add to our roster under the salary cap numbers. So, yeah, tonight we were the show, guys. There was no other NBA game, right? So the Knicks stole the headlines, 15-9, and your New York Knicks got the grades. The game ball, man, it was tight tonight, man. It was the tightest decision of the season, right? I think Mikal Bridges made a great case, good game, but I think Cat and Brunson together just gave us that edge late, to tip the scales our way and pull home the dub with that one. So, yeah, Precious Achua was walking with lions, fam. He's confident. He's a beast. Now let's look at the rest of the league as I pull up the standings, and we'll take a look now as the NBA resumes tomorrow night, or the rest of the NBA, but the New York Knicks got their dub tonight. And we moved to 15-9, so we're only a couple wins from passing Orlando. We're on the same losses right now. We've got the Heat back 2 games. We've got the Milwaukee Bucks making a little run. Got above 500 for the first time. But I still think there's a level between the Bucks and the Knicks, Giannis, they're really heavily dependent on Giannis, man, big time. And then who's below the Bucks? The ATL Hawks, man. Younger team, up-and-coming stars with Jaylen Johnson and Dyson Daniels with Trae Young, fam. We got the home... Apologies, let me pull this up on the big screen. We have the home court advantage coming up, man, on Wednesday night. What's your predictions for that one? The Knicks squad, from top to bottom, will get an extra 100K, 100 grand, man, just to get to the semi-finals of the NBA Cup. Right, so there's a lot riding on that, fam. Every assistant coach will get an extra 100 grand, and the same thing for the Hawks. So it's going to be a playoff type atmosphere, playoff type intensity on Wednesday night, fam. The NBA's put in this NBA Cup to make things more competitive early, and I think we're going to see that on full display on Wednesday night. These young Hawks are going to want that extra bread and get to Vegas as well, right? We have the home crowd. Of course, there's going to be that F Trae Young. Best believe that. I think buzzing, and we're going to be buzzing post game for that one, fam. Nice says Mikal just needs to stop those exaggerating close to impossible fadeaways. Yeah, and the transition pull up threes. You know, it really is a case of that. Hidalgo says agree on TJ, and Yorkel says hell no, no defense from TJ Warren. Yeah, he's going to be that microwave scorer, fam. He's not going to be a lockdown dude. Remember, we had a bogey Bogdanovic come in, get your shots up, and then go back to the bench. You know, and we are looking for more defense, no doubt about it. But we have to look within. These guys on the squad have to play better defense. I don't think we're going to be able to bring in a defensive kind of free agent. I think it's just going to have to be Deuce, Payne, Dadier, even Precious. Those guys can play D. Yeah, Mikal Bridges, whether it's been underwhelming or not, he has to roll his sleeves up. He just has to get that New York grit and grit it out, man. We've seen turnarounds where players start slow and they pick things up. You know, and look, the captain, he's not immune for criticism. You know, his defensive effort has to get better. You know, and Tibbs has to improve things with the minutes because Hart's a guy we really need for the postseason. We can't have him banged up. You know, heading into the postseason, we certainly can't have OG Anunoby banged up, who, by the way, has been completely healthy. At knock on wood, OG playing 41 minutes tonight. That's not sustainable right now. Fabian says Cat fifth in the MVP race. Salute. I like to see that. I think, yeah, he's been big time, man. He's been the Knicks' best player this season. You know, offensively, OG, you could make the case OG's been better on both sides, although offensively OG started to come down a little bit. Karl-Anthony Towns is giving you all-star numbers. And you look, all our predictions are coming true. Deuce McBride is like 6th man of the year material. I think he's right up there. I've got to look at the voting. In the Vegas odds. But yeah, I think Deuce McBride is a great shout for 6th man. I mean, he's not putting up crazy numbers, but he's so important to us and our team when it comes to you know, being a 6th man. Georgie says Okiki could be a great addition for defense. Yeah, shout out. That's a great one. Yeah, I did notice Okiki played well for Westchester as well. So yeah, he could be a shout. And I think I made my prediction. You know, I do think basically Matt Ryan will probably go back to a two-way, and Landry Shamet will come back and take, you know, a roster spot there. And then I think on February 26th, we can sign a 15th guy under the salary cap. And that could be Okiki, could be TJ Warren, or it could be Lonnie Walker, it could be Markel Fultz, could be a lot of different free agents out here, fam. So yeah, I think the Knicks have got some things up their sleeve as well. They can play around a little on that, you know. And I do think we've got some sneaky trader chips when it comes to the rights to Rokas Jokibitis. We've got the rights to James Nagy. We've got about 10 second-round draft picks in the future that we can trade. So the Knicks could swing a smaller kind of trade and use some of these draft rights dudes. We'll see how that plays out. But if it was up to me, I would definitely bring Shamet back and look, TJ Warren. I think if he continues to play well for the G League, I think he'll be hard to ignore. But let me know what you guys would like to do. This is all about you. As I said, Vegas predictions, Cat will be top 5 in MVP voting. I like that. Look, as long as he gets first team All NBA and gets an All-Star, I think that's gravy. Jazzman, the Cavs backcourt is killing it. I think the kryptonite, fam, is size. And I think if we can match up against Jarrett Allen and Mobley with Mitch and Cat and have Precious and Huck Porty off our bench, I think we can trump Cleveland. But they've been playing really well. Peyton Pritchard's a good shout for six man. Yeah, he's been putting in work. What do you guys think is going to happen to Philly? Right, what do you guys think is going to happen to Philly? They've made a couple of wins, 7 and 15 now. They've moved up to 12, so they're a couple of losses away from being in the play-in. You got Indiana in 9th at 10 and 15, struggling. They're below the Nets, who are supposedly tanking. And you got the Detroit Pistons also on 10 and 15 as well. So who would have thought that the Pistons and the Pacers would have the same record, and that the Sixers would be, 2 games back of both of them, which is crazy. You've got the Miami Heat starting to pull out a couple of extra wins as well. That's interesting. You got the Miami Heat making a little run. And of course, we've got the Hawks, fam, coming up on Wednesday night. I can't wait for that matchup, man. Dyson Daniels is going to go straight to Jaylen Brunson. So what is Tibbs going to do? Could we use Brunson as a decoy on Wednesday night? Guys, let me know. They're going to try to trap Jaylen Brunson or, throw Dyson Daniels on him with the length. He gave him problems, man, in Atlanta. And so I want to speak a couple of words on Jaylen Brunson, and I think we're seeing a bit of a turnaround offensively, right? Tonight's numbers, and especially recently, he's really starting to shoot the 3 ball better, and I think that's a key to his game, right? When it comes to Jaylen Brunson hitting the 3 ball, that opens up everything else, right? It does open up a lot, and I think he needs to make quick decisions. You see, tonight he benefits from getting the foul call because he doesn't over dribble and he keeps the ball moving with 11 dimes. So that's what I've been harping on about with Brunson. That's the last year's Brunson, in my opinion. Don't pass up open looks. Don't worry about having good offense right now and, having Cat out there and shooters in the corners and that. Play your game. Play your game. Because whenever Brunson was over dribbling, taking too many seconds to pass it or do something, the offense can get bogged down. So I think, JB needs to fire when he's open and get it going, and I think that's what he's doing. 4 of 8, 40%, 50% from distance, which is key as well for our 3-point numbers, man. The best offense in the league. Sixers are playing team, AP, and Monkey says Philly can go to sleep. Nice says Philly ain't going nowhere. Philly will get better when they're healthy, but I think Embiid, he might never get healthy. That's the thing, man. It's like trying to rely on a dude that size to stay healthy. It's tough. And Buzzer says Philly will try to make the play in. They'll make a run, but will they run out of steam? Indiana, I expect to make a run, but look, there's levels to this game, man. Indiana trying to tell us that they beat us in the playoffs last year, man. They beat a depleted team. That was it. I mean, Halliburton had a nice year, all-star year. They got Siakam. But is that duo really enough to carry Indiana with Miles Turner among the East heavyweights? I mean, I think we're seeing that they're pretenders right now, They're pretending. I mean, 10 and 15 is god-awful. There's no excuses. You made the Eastern Conference you made the Eastern Conference Finals, and you're 10 and 15 now. So, horrible start for some of these supposed contenders in the East. The New York Knicks, however, made huge upgrades late in the summer, and here we are at 15 and 9 with some things to work out. But it's a nice position to be in. It's a nice base to be 6 games over 500 and not playing your best. Not playing your best basketball with a couple of key guys still to come back, and come back healthier. Let's see what that looks like, man. I think Mitchell Robinson's one of the best defensive centers in the NBA. but for some reason, rival fans and media alike just don't don't seem to acknowledge him. You know, I mean, if Cleveland were without, Mobley or Allen, that's all you would hear about. Um, if Indiana was missing Miles Turner, that's all they would talk about. But the Knicks have been without Mitchell Robinson all season. Um, so I think that's going to be a huge storyline. Yorkel says Payne is good starting because you can hide Brunson a lot, which confuses double teams. I don't think Payne will start, but I see your point. I think dual point guard lineups can really help Brunson a lot. Yeah, not gonna lie, they do like to harass Brunson, bringing the ball up the court. And Mikal and Hart haven't been those ball handlers that we kind of hope to be, or Mikal Bridges that can't generate, clean looks by himself a lot. So, he's been catch and shoot mostly. That's why I think Deuce McBride is a dark horse, to maybe see extended time next to Brunson. But Cameron Payne, as long as he's not taking ill-advised shots, I'm cool with Payne playing more. Nice says Mikal, with IQ's type of energy, he'll be tough to beat. We will be tough to beat. Yeah, IQ gave us good energy, and I think Mikal Bridges does need to pep up a bit. Whether he needs to have a few energy drinks before the game, spar a bit, in the boxing ring before a game, or take a couple of coffees. He needs to come out with a bit more energy and a bit more fire with that one. But hey, man, this is going to be a huge test, right? We'll be talking about the ramifications of the Hawks game, not just because of the NBA Cup, because it means something in the regular standings, right? As the Knicks continue to try to build consistency, right? We couldn't get to 5 wins in a row, 4 wins in a row twice this season. We lost the last one against Detroit. We bounced back tonight, and then a bigger test against a better team, defensive team against the Hawks with size as well and length that can switch. So I'm going to say if we don't get a really good game or a decent game from Bridges, we're probably a tough chance to win, because with Dyson Daniels, Jaylen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter, Bogdanovich, Okongwu, all of the wings that the Atlanta Hawks have got, our wings have to show up, because they're going to switch a lot, and they can space us out as well. It's going to be tougher than people think. This Atlanta game is going to be tough, but we've got the home crowd, and I think our boys will be ready. I think our boys will be ready, for the test, and I will show the requisite energy required. Yes, you guys on point about the free throws. We definitely need to improve on the free throws. We've been pretty good this season, not gonna lie, but the last 5 games, it's dropped a bit. Like Michael says, Monkey, and also Buzzer as well. I think this is a situation where the New York Knicks have got good free throw shooters. I think we just lapse concentration at times when it comes to that. But let's hope things are starting to gel with Mikal Bridges' 3-point shot, because defense is one thing with Bridges. It's been underwhelming, but it's also been underwhelming offensively. And if the 3-point shooting comes back in a major way for Mikal Bridges on a consistent basis, I mean, our offense just goes from top in the league to basically unstoppable. I mean, I don't care what team you are, who you got, what defense you play. It's unstoppable. If Cat, Brunson, and Bridges are shooting threes with OG Anunoby spaced out as well, right? You can't double anyone. It's going to be one-on-one coverage, right? And they can try all they want to put a Dyson Daniels or a Derek White on Brunson or whatever, that's fine. We'll just kick it to Cat, and he'll be one-on-one. Kick it to the shooters as well. So yeah, I'm not worried about our offense. It's our defense that I think has to make strides. And look, obviously Precious Achua is back healthier now, and that is going to be something to continue to watch, because 3 games back, I think he's really worked his way back in pretty well. He hasn't really shown much rust with Achua. 3 of 7, 7 points, 6 rebounds is key, helping us out on the glass with Cat. But yeah, Cat battle tonight, Johnny. I don't know if he got beat up, but yeah, he was battling hard, man. Would have loved to see some Huck Porty out there for at least 6 minutes, but we'll see. I think Mikal Bridges, I think playing a lot of games has definitely aged his body. He's not looking as fresh as a normal 28-year-old should be looking. So with that said, I think keep those minutes down, Tibbs, please. But we're in a situation now where we're 6 games over 500, man. We've got some cash to play for, and a trophy and a ring and a banner to play for. And let's get it, man. Wednesday night, NBA Cup action. Right, who cares whether you want it or you don't? It's another game, it's another dub. And let's get it against a up-and-coming team. And let's continue streaking now after a little blip against Detroit. Let's hope we can continue to roll now and push ahead of the pack. Because we've got teams struggling in the East with the Bucks slow start, the Heat slow start, the Pacers, the Philly struggling big time as well. Orlando now without Franz Wagner and Paolo for extended time with their torn oblique. Now is the time for the New York Knicks to put the foot on the gas, man, and chalk up these wins early. And let's beat an inferior opponent. I mean, the Hawks, they're making noise, but they're inferior in my eyes, and, we made all these moves. Let's show that there's levels to this game right now. And look for Brunson to have a big time performance. Karl-Anthony Towns is really feeling it. We lost to Atlanta on their home floor. Now let's invite them to the Mecca, man, where it's going to be nothing but huge environment of noise, hostile environment, the crowd going crazy, and it's going to be buzzing, ladies and gentlemen, on Wednesday night, and I can't wait for it as well. Thanks for everyone in the comment section tonight. Great points, comments, chat, buzzing, and replay squad as well. Let's get it Wednesday night, fam. You already know what it is. Knicks can go 16 wins, still less than 10 losses on the season. Let's see who shows up when it counts. These big games is when you want to see these players step up. OG Anunoby, we're going to need his defense, especially in that one. So peace, everyone. Many blessings, health, happiness, festive blessings, and let's go. Knicks, salute.